Welcome back to Trigun Stampede, Anime Review, Episode 5. This is reviewing the 5th episode of the series, A Child of Blessing. This episode, of course, is the 5th episode of the series. Now, basically, like, normally the series, there's no manga equivalent to this thing. It's a lot of it's inspired by the manga. Now, unlike the last few episodes, which they do bring characters from the manga into the series, this one, no. No first character. Well, they do have a one-shot character make his debut in this episode, but that's it. Excuse me. We go to a couple of time periods here. We have this young, possibly 10, 12-year-old boy named Rollo, where he and his mom are praying to the Church of the Plants. Yes, this actually is the first time this actually has appeared. The Church of the Plants is simply a religion where people are worshiping the plants. Yes, the very things that give them food and whatever to survive on this desert planet they're on. By the way, I forgot to mention this in my last video. Million Knives did make a quick cameo at the end of last episode. This is actually the first episode. Now that was actually the second episode where he appeared in. This episode, he did not appear. Nope. It just mostly is set in one location. Nicholas Wormwood has decided to join them on their little journey. So they basically end up at this village. Actually, first they stop because there's a worm nearby. Something about maybe killed it, maybe stop on it, and of course then we go straight to the village. This windmill village, as it's called. Yes, a village literally powered by wind. And they've had no wind for quite some time. Now, in the case, basically, now you showed the boy in the flashback. Is he there in the present day? No, he isn't. And we see this giant hulking guy who seems like he's a show version of Bane. He's got a see-through skull. He's firing a machine gun off at Vash, and he keeps yelling Vash Stampede. Vash somehow knows him. Well, we don't find out who he is until we get to the very end of the episode. So we're after coming home one day, overhears his mom or he's maybe the sacrifice to their god. And then, of course, he runs away. Of course, Vash finds and comes back home. No problem. And then, of course, then he gets home and he's confronted by William. Yes, William, a guy who works for Million Knives. And he takes him to be experimented on. And he injects him with something that basically regrows his cells. Oh, by the way, Vash and Wormwood basically are on the run for the damn thing. Chases this whole city. And Mayor and Roberto, they don't really do much anything in this episode. They basically, because they're not really at fault here. Then we see that they go to Roberto's home, which was first seen perfectly fine. Then we see later on it's basically been damaged. So it's implied that Vash visits the place about 20 years prior to the events of this episode. And given they do find a picture later with Vash with Rollo, and, well, of course, Vash finds this actually is Rollo, the kid he met years prior, and he's turned this creature, and we see what his real face looks like, and then Nicholas kills him. Yes, the shoe's right in the head, and he said it was a mercy killing, and then they just drive off, and the windmill thing goes back on. We cut back to a plant, possibly, where Million Knives is not here, where William basically is forming Zas the Beast, that they can't exactly form a failure. Like, there's a failure, of course you don't have to worry about it because basically Nicholas killed him. Nicholas Wormwood. And it's not Nicholas Wormwood. Nicholas the Punisher. Yes, this is actually the first time the alias is used this episode. It's an alias that basically he used in the manga too, because Nicholas Wormwood is an assassin. He works for, the Church of the Plant, and he kills people. Where his mentor is a guy called Chapel. We'll get to more later on with him. Yep, but the case of this episode, it's okay. Aside from having the animation, it doesn't feel like last episode, which I thought was really good. This episode feels okay at best. That may be the reason why that Crunchyroll decided to go ahead and dub next episode, because they probably weren't feeling like, okay, we'll put this episode, or okay, we finished the episode, and they probably figured, okay, we have time to dub this other episode, because they're probably not feeling this episode. They released as a double feature. So yeah, so I'm gonna wrap this up here. So next video will be a comic corner and right back to the last episode released for Trigun Stampede, which is gonna be quite interesting to discuss this one because it's a 6-episode series. And then after that, then basically after that, of course, do our comic corner. Let's see. I think I have enough here for. Let's see. 1, 2. About 3 more after the next one. So basically about 4 comic corners. So, I mean, the next thing we're working out to finish the next episode, Trigun Stampede. Excuse me. Will be Case Closed. And that one does have a new chapter released in the manga, though it is, like in the case of Trigun Stampede, I don't have to look up anything, I just need to read a news chapter and review it. Yep. Next up, we have a comic corner, okay? Next video. Bye.